Summer of '57 was a hot one, even by New York standards. Even the evening breeze never seemed to reach ground level. The first time I laid eyes on Mark, I was surprised how ordinary he looked. I don't know what I was expecting a comic to look like, but it wasn't this. He was an ordinary-looking guy, overdressed perhaps, but we all were then, kind of solitary, always wearing that hat with a white hatband. Of course, he knew we were tagging him, but he didn't seem too bothered, like it was a kind of game to him. I wasn't sure if we were the cat or the mouse. Mark lived in a seedy hotel downtown. Sort of joint you could lose yourself in until you die. Not that Mark was his real name, of course.
Any mail for room 839?
Name?
Collins. Martin Collins. Any mail for Martin Collins?
You're on a left, fella. Still, I expect you'll write to you soon.
I doubt it.
Can't we move in now? We got him cornered.
The Finn's scared shitless. He ain't cooperating. And there ain't no case without the Finn. Unreliable witness. They're putting the squeeze on him tonight. His pips will be squeaking in the morning.
Looks like we're in for a long night.
That's right, Special Agent. Go check out the desk clerk. We'll see what name he's using this time. Seems like he left a trail of aliases wherever he went. A man of many names. So there we were, waiting for the Finn to agree to give evidence. And there he was, holed up in his hotel room, wondering how much we knew. Our problem was that thanks to the Finn, we knew everything, but we couldn't prove it. But I kind of got the impression he'd been in tight spots before.
Checked in as Collins, Martin Collins. He's expecting some mail. Sounds kind of desperate. Have a hamburger. You want onions? Who the hell is this guy anyway? I thought his name was Mark.
Mark was just his code name. This guy had history. Born Wilhelm Fisher, his story began in England, a place called Newcastle upon Tyne, when the century was still young and the British Empire kept the city busy with cargoes. Nobody took much interest when an extra wagon of mechanical toys appeared in the siding, except the young Willie Fisher. And the local sheriff's office, who took a particular interest in the work of the Friends of Russia campaign.
Mechanical toys. That's ours. I'll give you this in the morning. One of the jokes will be shipped. An oppressed class that does not learn to use arms to obtain arms deserves to be treated like slaves. Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, December last year. That's a lesson you English could learn.
Willie's father was Heinrich Fischer, a German who'd come to England with his Russian wife to escape the Tsar, a communist and a gun runner for the Bolsheviks. Mark learned his trade from his dad, even when it came to stealing his cigarettes.
You spend too much time with political work. You'll get caught one of these days.
We'll not get caught if we are careful. Anyway, the Friends of Russia have a lot of sympathizers. I'm going to see Alf. He needs an invoice for some of our mechanical toys before they can be moved to Edinburgh.
No more political work tonight. And you smoke too much.
Look, I'm a skilled worker. I bring a good wage. What more do you want? Willie, could you do something for me tomorrow morning?
And so he began his career as a foreign agent amid the dark, satanic mills of northern England.
Father's just to give you this.
Hwy Bonnie lad, taffy lappy.
Cartridges.
Mysterious discovery at Sunderland. The discovery of 200,000 rifle and revolver cartridges at the Baptist Church and other premises in Sunderland and Newcastle is still creating immense interest. Many theories have been currently relative to the subject. One that is most generally believed in is that the ammunition was intended for the revolutionaries in Russia. The German, who was the principal in the affair, has not been found.
He loved his dad. He respected him. He wanted to be like his dad. So he ended up here, in a seedy hotel in downtown New York. What a waste of a life. I think he thought that too, in the end. So when the family went back to Moscow, after the 1917 revolution that got rid of the Tsar, I guess it was inevitable that he'd be signed up by the security service.
It is an unfortunate fact that even the Soviet state requires agents. Spies, if you like. To defend the people's interests against capitalism. I prefer to think of it as soldiers on a mission behind enemy lines.
The government must determine what is best for the people.
What is your full name?
Fischer. Wilhelm Fischer.
You were in the radio engineering corps, and you have foreign languages.
My father is German, my mother is Russian, and I was born British. I am fluent in 3 languages.
Good. We can use it in constructing your legend.
My legend.
Your life story, which even you will come to believe. In the end, you will not even know yourself who you really are. Already you belong nowhere and everywhere. Russian, German, British, a natural-born spy. That's a good start. You have a good British accent, too. Scottish?
Geordie. Almost Scottish. I came back to Mother Russia that I might serve the revolution like my father.
Willie, you must think of yourself as a soldier on a mission at all times. If you ever doubt who you are or what you are, remember that.
These illegals have more names than a pedigree hound. The Finn says he came here in 48. We checked it out. Stands up, name of Coyotes.
Collins, Mark, Coyotes. How do these guys remember who they really are?
Way I see it, it's like onions. And a spy, you peel away layer after layer. Some of the time it makes your eyes water. Some of the time it makes the soup taste good. And in the end, there's nothing left inside.
You have a good crossing?
The food left a little to be desired. Sauerkraut every day. There's rationing in Germany still.
You sound like you've been living in Britain a while.
Oh, no, I'm from Boston. Oh, my accent. That I owe to my aunt. She brought me up. She was Scottish.
You've been away on business then?
You could say that, but now I'm looking for new opportunities back in the land of the free.
Welcome back to America, Mr. Coyotes.
Hi! Bert Silverman, we met on the stairs. I got a studio down the way and I just wondered if I could borrow some turpentine.
Oh, hi. Golfus. Emil Golfus. I got a studio here. I just moved in. Would you like some coffee?
Yeah.
Mark set himself up in an artist studio in Brooklyn. Got in with the avant-garde set.
You been painting long?
No. Not long. I was a photographer. I still am. I don't get enough time to devote to my paintings. I would have progressed more if I'd had the time. I'm just an amateur.
See, where are you from? You know, you sound kind of Scottish. Or...
Brought up in Boston by a Scottish aunt with a bit of Irish blood in her. But I spent most of my life in the Pacific Northwest lumberjacking before I took up photography.
Yeah, you sure like taking photographs of Bear Mountain State Park, don't you?
I'd sooner be in bed this time of night than spooking some alien.
You got a girl to cuddle up to. That's the funny thing with this guy. Been here nearly 10 years with the odd vacation back to Moscow. You ain't seen hardly no one. So virtuous it ain't true. No women, few friends, but there was a guy called Heihanen, codenamed Vic, sent to be his assistant. A Finn. He was gonna be Mark's nemesis. Nemesis means bad guy. The Finn was gonna be his downfall, his nemesis.
One of the greatest peacetime spy dramas in the nation's history reaches its climax as Julius Rosenberg and Morton Sobel, convicted of revealing atomic secrets to the Russians, enter the federal building in New York to hear their doom.
When they first met in the early 50s, it was the time of the Rosenberg spy trial. The Rosenbergs, they were Mark's agents too. That must have scared the Finn, just arrived from Russia. But Mark kept his cool and continued to use the movie theater to drop messages.
It is a stern jurist they face in Judge Irving Kaufman. After administering a tongue lashing in which he charged them with the indirect death of thousands of men in Korea, he sentenced both Rosenbergs to death in the electric chair and Sobel to 30 years in prison. It certainly appears that the spies are headed along a one-way street.
So who is a Finn anyway?
Goes by the name of Vic. Joined the KGB when it was the NKVD sometime before the war. Promoted above his ability. Sound familiar? And he's a lush. Some kind of sick joke to send him on a mission. Don't even speak English.
We go for drink, yes? Proper drink.
I like to use the movie theater for the drop. It has separate exits. You have a lot to learn. You're a Finn, aren't you? I am surprised you slipped through the directorate. They must have their reasons. Still, you're here now. We better make the best of it for Mother Russia's sake. Have you got cover work?
No, not yet. I need money.
You need cover work. You need the right job. If you work 8 hours a day, there won't be enough time for our work. You should set up a photography shop. I can lend you some equipment. Your English is not very good. You should not spend too much of your time in Finntown. You should get to know a few other people, real Americans. You like Woody Guthrie? A real American.
Yeah, well, Senator McCarthy's Un-American Activities Commission wouldn't think so. Too subversive.
What will you call it?
I've thought about that. The Amateur.
Mark may have been an amateur to the avant-garde New York set, but when it came to espionage, he was top dog. He used microdots hidden in thumbtacks left the drops around the city, but the Finn could never get the hang of it. Mark was getting worried.
How you learn English so well? From women?
Do not ask pointless questions. You know too much about me already. I should not have brought you here. Still, you must practice making microdots, otherwise why are you here? You are useless. You don't even know the Morse code. Oh, look. Hide them under the staples of a magazine. Use Better Homes and Gardens or American Home. They have better staples. Now, I will get you the camera equipment for your shop, and then you must go.
Funny thing about the Finn, when he turned up, we just thought he couldn't be this bad. They never would have sent him. Maybe he was supposed to defect and become a double agent. Seems like Mark sent him packing anyhow.
A message has come through. It is time for you to go on your vacation. You must buy a ticket on the next ship for Europe. And they have promoted you to Lieutenant Colonel. They must like you.
Of course, the Finn knew the chips were down. If he returned to Moscow, it was the firing squad or Siberia. Mark sent word in the usual way that the Finn was headed home, but he was not expecting the reply.
Why didn't you go?
FBI took me off ship. They questioned me. I tell them nothing.
You must leave as soon as possible. You know the route. By ship to Le Havre, by train to Paris, plane to Moscow. Remember, we are soldiers on a mission, Lieutenant Colonel. You will be treated as a hero back in Moscow.
Beats me why they do it. Communist son of a bitch. He deserves what's coming.
If the Finn takes the stand, there ain't much of a case without him.
You know what freedom means to me? Being able to get a hamburger with onions whenever I want one. I hope he fries.
Who knows what makes these guys do it? Still, we got the Finn. He ended up in Paris on his way back to Moscow. Had a complete mental breakdown, apparently. Turned himself in at the embassy. I guess he had Siberia on his mind. He sure didn't have his mind on the revolution. And Mark? What was Mark thinking about there alone in that room?
Okay, boys. The Finns agreed to give evidence. And guess what? You've got the big one. He's a colonel. See what name he uses this time, and remember, he's no amateur. He's a real pro.
Funny. We'd never have got him if the Finn hadn't spilled the beans.
Just a minute.
Put something on.
Sit on the bed.
Can I have a cigarette?
You know which government agency we're with?
Yes.
The FBI has jurisdiction over matters pertaining to the security of the United States. We want to talk to you about a matter concerning internal security.
What's your real name?
Abel. Rudolf Ivanovich Abel.